Hi, I'm Andrew Naylor. I'm up here in the Corryong district with Graham Van Brumlin, who's the Baptist pastor here. I'm just going to talk to Graham. He's going to talk us through a little some of the stories that have been happening here. And as you can see behind me, there's it's been devastating for those who've been through these fires.
Here, I met a couple who came into the relief centre and they had lost everything, and we're standing at the front of their house, and their story is quite unique in that they were rescued by 3 teenagers during the night, and they came in one door and took them out another door, grabbed a car out of the garage, which is just over to the left here, and saved the family from what would have been almost death. And you can see just the devastation around this area. But it's not only the fires, as we'll talk about that as we go, because after the fires there was rain, and the rain has affected their livelihood in the way it's washed down lots and lots of soil and ash, and it's gone through the creek which runs through their property, which they access for water and washing their dairy as they milk their cows. And fortunately for them, their dairy was saved, but yeah, there's a lot that's going to happen in this particular case for recovery, and it's going to be a big, long haul. They couldn't open because of water, because all the ash that had gone into the stream, and that was their water supply.
Yeah.
They're not on town water here. So they had to suffer for a couple of weeks, just like many other businesses.
Yeah.
Can't get through to Gippsland at the moment because of the damage the fires have done and the following floods that came after the rain that we had. And the Narrial Valley was the worst affected.
So have the floods, has that caused, because the ground cover's gone, has it caused gulling and things?
Yeah, and you've got all what happens under extreme heat, the soil loses its viscosity and it just becomes like powder. And so when the rain comes, it seeks the hard surface and washes it down.
I'm also here with Chris Piper. Chris is a bushfire recovery expert and has some great experience with recent bushfires and floods and that sort of thing. Chris, what's your initial response to being here?
Okay. Well, first of all, it's a privilege to be here with Graham, representing the Baptist Church here, and the Baptist Church obviously is working with the community as a whole to work through the whole recovery process of people like this. Particularly people, I think, out in many farmers, primary producers as they're called, out in the countryside. And it's good that we're obviously supported by the Baptist fraternity, and that includes the church, the Baptist Church of Bendigo, the Wodonga, but also yourself, sort of coordinating this from the Melbourne office. And this is obviously one region, the Manton Snowy region, and then we're going down to Gippsland next week. So you're obviously, you've got a bailiwick to look at, across the whole much of eastern Victoria. So we're talking, listening, seeing how best we can, making suggestions how best we could maximise the money which has been raised.
Okay, that's fantastic. And so obviously we see here, there's immediate devastation, as people have these immediate needs. Just talk for a moment about, in your experience, what this looks like in the long term. What becomes important in those long term?
Well, obviously, from most people who will be watching this will have seen the dramatic, the fires from end of December, January. I know the dramatic thing which hit the media. What we're at now is really the beginning of the recovery process for people. So, this is pretty awful seeing the devastation of this. But it's a long road. And I was involved again through the churches and supporting, people from the 2009 bushfires. And we know that it takes months, if not years. Usually years, particularly when people have lost property, when they've lost their houses and their livelihoods are under threat. So I think it's that long-term it's like long-term support to realise it's not a quick fix.
Yes.
And we just need to just pace ourselves.
Yeah.
It's a 10,000 metre marathon. It's not a 400 metre race.
Yeah. So it's obviously critical that that the pastors on the ground seem to be here for the long haul, playing such a vital role in people's emotional well-being and those sorts of things as well.
Sure.
Right? Yeah.
And obviously the stakeholders on the ground. Some are ready from the emergency response, and they will begin to move out. But then it's the longer term one. So that obviously includes the government, the government, state government, but also some of the other Red Cross, not-for-profit agencies, and the church. I mean the Baptist Church, but also working with other churches as well. It's nice to see different churches working together, and the churches working with non-church people.
Yeah, great. Well, thanks, Chris. It's great to have you here, and thanks to you who've been donors and contributors and supporting the great work that's going on here.